When you're coming in the room and you start saying shit,
but you can't get Phil's attention because his ADD don't quit.
You're getting frustrated. About to throw a twitchy fit. Make it clang, motherfucker, because it's all about the bits. 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 Yeah, it's all about that bitch. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. Yeah, it's all about that bitch. You had too many and his king.
Now you've got retention.
We'll step it up, Brown.
Let's Filthy dip that baby.
Make it clang, little lady, though you'll never be my boo. It's all about the bits, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
It's all about the bitch. It's all about the bitch. It's all about the bitch. Yeah, it's all about that bitch. It's all about the bitch. It's all about the bitch. It's all about the bitch. Yeah, it's all about that bitch.
Man, I spent $20 and I just got 1,500 bits. There seems to be something wrong with this conversion rate.
Tough protester, corporate.
Why, what's this fool gonna do for a penny?
So Twitch will take a hefty cut. They're greedy about their money.
But if you're weird and spend it here,
You'll bonus tickle funny. I spend that money on your honey. Let's face it, we may be rude, but you can call this home. So make it claim to help this game with fighting with repression.
we're only crude because the attitude of prudes comes on regression. So send their bits, you little shit.
It's not a focus lesson. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. Yeah, it's all about that bitch. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. Yeah, it's all about that bitch.
You got them from fake work and you want to unwind. Just hit that follow button if your Spanx is behind. But when it's all cashed down and you don't know what to do, just add a little bit to join the filthy few. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. Yeah, it's all about that bitch. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. It's all about the bits. Yeah, it's all about that bitch. Hey, this goes out to the year 2040. That year's gonna kick ass, dog. Good job, world. Fucking assholes. Welcome, ladies and germs, to the second official The Filthy Few podcast, starring the legendary TourettesOneCup and yours truly, the Filthy Jankster, the Filthy Jester. www.twitch.tv/thefilthyjester. God, that was just so cheesy. So, Mr. Tourette's, thank you for coming tonight, and I appreciate you greatly. We know each other in real life, and we are friends.
Janky Jankster.
The Filthy Jankster. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing great, and I'm so happy to be here talking with you.
Me as well. I've been wanting to do this with you for a while. So, let's just start kicking it off, and why don't you tell me a little bit about some of the afflictions that you deal with, namely the Tourette's. And
sure,
let's start there, man. What's that like?
Well, I think mine is a little bit, probably a vastly different story than most people getting diagnosed these days, or even people who, probably are millennial age or even a little older at this point. And there's a lot of irony to it because I grew up in a medical family. My father was an amazing physician, who just amazing human being. But I also had ADD.
Perfect to raise you, darling.
Well, we both have ADD. So I had,
What?
back when I was diagnosed with ADD,
What?
that wasn't even a name yet. It was much more attractive. It was called minimal brain dysfunction.
Oh, that's really fucking attractive.
And I got taken
That
to
would
a guy.
have crushed me. What was the diagnosis? I have what?
Like the situation.
Will it grow back?
Help at all. Like the situation needed any help at all. So I went to this guy named Leon Ettinger, who talked real gruffy and wore suspenders, and he didn't have a chest and belly. He had one curve that went from below the neck out and then down, like a perfect curve. He was like a little barrel with suspenders, but he was one of the foremost researchers in the world on it. And there weren't many. So,
and he pulled you aside in the hallway and said, "Take a bite out of crime." And you're like, "You're McGruff."
And now you're about to see why a brief backstory is important, because I started, my father wanted to solve this. My father was an internal medicine specialist, a cardiologist. He was not a behavioral medicine guy. So it's vastly different. He could diagnose all different body systems, but the brain is its own thing. And so much its own thing that there are non-MD people who work with people's brains, and there are MDs who work with people's brains in all different aspects. So he started taking me to experts. He did the best he could to take me to all the experts he could find. I was trying on a litany of drugs. If there is a drug that people use to stay up and do homework, or or have fun in college. I probably took it therapeutically at some point. I was probably on
I was a Ritalin kid.
20 and 30 different medications, and Ritalin pretty much was the stalwart one in that. But within that, time period of putting me on all these different things, I started developing different tics, shaking of the head, like violently nodding, raspberries, like or chirps and hoots, and Tourette's wasn't in the conversation in the 70s. It just wasn't. It's still extremely rare. I think I have much less than 0.5% of the population has it. It's mostly men or mostly boys. And although I did meet one girl with Tourette's before, and then now that the sweet Anita Streamer, and she's amazing. But so cool. I was on all these drugs. I was having all these tics, and it just kind of got hidden. We thought, the prevailing thought became these are side effects of medication, and on and on time went, and this I fast forward to 26 years old. So if you can imagine, the years of age from adolescence to mid-20s is fairly formative. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So I was born into this world where systems are set up, educational protocols are set up, societal and social protocols are set up, not for people with Tourette's syndrome, not for people with certain conditions that just define them as being neuroatypicals. And it showed. And, from the time I was, I've mentioned it a little bit in chat, but this is different. So on the podcast, I was bullied from the time I was 3 years old through college. And all the way through high school, it was the same kids. It was all the good kids from the good families who got the good grades, played sports, and were popular.
Mm-hmm.
So these are good kids, right? That's what, it's like, how do you define it? So I went through it. And by the time I got a diagnosis at 26, a lot of damage had been done.
Sure.
And from that moment on, this deep, grinding, soul-searching effort on my own behalf to identify myself, because there's still not. There's a lot of stuff out there on Tourette syndrome. What there really isn't is a lot of conclusivity. It's kind of like, well, here's what it is, and here's how it manifests, and here's how 50 people with Tourette's will have 50 different sets of problems. So, I mean, like what interests you, or what do you think would interest neurotypical people about Tourette syndrome with regard to me?
I have my own theory about Tourette's, whether it be correct or incorrect. I have my own theory because I deal with my own afflictions, one of which happens to be ego dystonic, which is it's a facet of OCD where it's an immense, instead of, it's your thoughts that obsessively will think of taboo shit, or thinking that people can think your thoughts, stuff like that. But it's not paranoia. It's like a facet of OCD. And I've had to combat that myself through my own cognitive behavioral therapy, a lot of contrary action. It was very important with that. But it always struck me, and again, I haven't really researched this stuff, so it's just a wild guess, but it always struck me that Tourette's was a compulsion to do something, an overwhelmed compulsion to do something. And I empathize with that immensely. And so it led me to believe, personally, that Tourette's might be a facet of OCD, just in left field somewhere. Because I mean, maybe it's not an extreme compulsion to do it, but if it is, that's something that I think should be looked at.
Yeah, I have often wondered the same thing myself, because there's similarities between Tourette's to Asperger's syndrome. There's similarities to obsessive compulsive syndrome, to autism spectrum disorder, and the spectrum is actually very interesting read. And then the subspectrum of comorbidities, conditions that are unrelated but tend to happen in concurrence,
sure, with
another condition.
Sure.
I shouldn't say unrelated, but are not the same condition. So here's a glimpse into If you think trivia murder parties scary, you should see inside my brain.
Oh my God, that laugh. Jesus, Christmas Day.
So here's an example. While you speak
I think we
to
just
me,
had one.
here's another example. While you speak to me
That was fucking maniacal.
Thank you. While you speak to me in this podcast, I can promise you that probably 100 times or more, I will be having a very overwhelming impulse, and you'll hear me break and feed into that and give into that impulse to speak up, not to interrupt you, but because I have already done an incredible amount of processing on what you're telling me. Sometimes when people talk to me, I'll want to speak, and it's not being rude. It comes off as rude. And here again, the square peg in the round hole, the system not made for somebody else. I have to make my own systems, and they don't sometimes make sense to other people. But sometimes I will hear sentences that haven't even come out of people's mouths yet and be right a lot of time, word for word. And that plays into theatrical and talent like that. But it's hard for me because things happen really fast in here. I've been told I'm a really, 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 really fast thinker. And it's hard to harness.
You can usually tell by someone's articulation, but I know you personally, and I know you are.
It's hard to harness it, and
it's hard.
It's hard enough to talk in a more or less neurotypical world about something atypical, but it's even harder when it's so hard nowadays to speak well of yourself in certain ways that make a person come off as conceited, whether it's about brains or looks or talents. And I think that's devastating to a lot of people.
Well, I think that's always been a factor. It's just, in this day and age, there's just more exposure to everything. It's just, everything's just out there. But hold on, you said something very interesting, which was, are you able to counter these Tourette's attacks sometimes?
Yes,
right.
To a point.
Right.
To
okay.
A point.
So that right there is like what got me thinking about that. Like and now I finally get to address it with someone who has Tourette's. That right there. Like I understand, like it's immensely hard to control, but it's controllable, and that's what makes me to a point. Okay, that's what makes me think that it might be of heavy relation to OCD, because my ego dystonic dude has me going off. I'll try and picture something in like I'll try and picture like a basketball going through a hoop and like the rim will break or it'll bounce off the rim, stuff like that. And those are all facets of my OCD and my brain like fucking with me, right? But nature, I can control it sometimes too.
In nature, sometimes apparent similarities are a definite yes, they're definite no. I mean, like the Japanese maple, the leaf of a Japanese maple tree looks a lot like a cannabis leaf, but they're nothing like each other.
Can you fuck them?
I haven't tried. But so if it's an ever moving target to get on top of and control a tick is not always possible. Sometimes it's absolutely impossible. Sometimes I see a window of opportunity, and sometimes I can shift it a little bit or move it a little bit to the side, but it's an ever moving target. It's completely context and situationally dependent. It's dependent on my current condition.
Absolutely.
The four factors that fuck with me the most are, and I'll try to rank them in order from most acute to least of having effect on it. Stress, fatigue, caffeine, and sugar. Maybe caffeine might be a little higher. Nicotine too, actually. But those are the big four. And those things. So imagine trying to like use a rifle to hone in on a target that's moving around all the time in ways that you're not expecting. It's not just back and forth. It's not like, shooting down the ducks at the shooting gallery at the fair. And then in front of that target, there are all these walls popping up and down. So
yeah,
that's kind of about as difficult.
Right. And that makes perfect sense to me. Let me ask you another question.
Sure.
For me, with my OCD, it was considerably tougher when I was younger. And I think through a lot of stuff that I did on my own, I was able to change some stuff, like I said, through contrary action. But here's the crux to that. What I discovered with my OCD is there's a sense of impending doom if you do not do the thing your brain is like compelling you to do, right? So for me, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to intellectualize my way out of this. I'm going to say, okay, nothing bad is going to happen. So I'm just not going to listen to that voice until I stop thinking about it. And sometimes it's really hard. But
can you do it absolute sometimes?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. Most of the time I can. If I'm really thinking about it, because it's willpower, right?
But it came with time and grind and practice.
It's my will against the irrational.
But it took forever to build that skill set.
I think when I realized that it was an irrational thought that was compelling me to do these things, that I did not want that, and I would counter it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hardly remember.
I can't even.
Hold on. This is what I was going to. I want to ask you.
Yeah.
Is there a sense of impending doom with Tourette's?
That's why I was laughing when you were saying it. It's often been. I've been able to, I think, largely grow out of impending doom thoughts to more chronic worry about things that are fucked up now.
Right, but that's what triggers it, right? Is this?
But see, for me, that's growth.
Yeah, no, I could see that.
Yeah, and I can see that,
but ultimately, like,
I don't know.
What I'm saying is like if you intellectual, and I understand there are probably different afflictions and so on and so forth, but if you were to intellectualize it like that and being like, oh, my Tourette's is trying to make me do this, I'm not going to do that. Would you? What you're saying is that's not possible a lot of the time.
A lot of the time.
Yeah.
And if things are heaped up on my shoulders, it gets hard.
And it's true for OCD of individuals too. Yeah. It doesn't always work for me.
It's always felt very isolative to have lost that, next 21 years after I got diagnosed with 5. My family was on vacation. We were in Hawaii and we were walking down the halls of a hotel, and my dad.
Sorry,
we're gonna work on that one.
Is that not Hawaiian enough for you?
That's my dad. It wasn't Elvis enough for me.
Oh no. Okay, so I was.
Try Don Ho. Okay, your Don Ho is much better. So my dad said he couldn't peel me off the walls, is how he would describe it to people. And he knew, as a clinician, that something didn't seem right. Not just that this is a super hyper kid or a bad or misbehaved kid, that there was something going on, maybe a compulsion to be doing what I was doing. And that's when I got diagnosed shortly after, at 5. But that next 21 years makes it very hard for me to even relate to a lot of people my age.
Well, because everybody's in pain and everybody attacks each other.
No,
it's even worse these days.
Yes, but what I was thinking in that point is more because most people I've talked to with one or even a comorbid condition, they got.
Can you explain what that means, please?
I will, but they were aware of it in childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't aware of this driving force until much later.
Right.
So when I say comorbidity, like if you have autism, you might also have ADD, or you might also have. So it's a condition that tends to like.
I have like 13 things.
I'll bet. Well, you have like 37 personalities I've counted, so that kind of makes sense. So you can heap just a few on each one.
Yeah.
Okay, so what else, Thibble?
So, so another thing that this is all it's all very interesting.
I hope
stuff.
it's fascinating. I hope I'm fascinating to people because I have this really different story to tell, and then I hope that the people out there it can help.
Well, you're fascinating to me first and foremost, and I think that would be conducive to a good podcast. So
I'll be over at 8 with a bucket of chicken and a jar of fish pickles. Okay, so please proceed with what you were saying.
So there's another issue that we wanted to talk about as well, which is what is happening to the mental health of people, considering COVID, the lockdown, and other things? What is the macro? What is the micro? I know for me, I was bartending. I got laid off, and I was able to throw myself harder into my career on Twitch, which is, I hope, just the beginning of things, because I have a lot of big plans. But for me, I'm just gonna offer my side, and I know a lot of people out there are going through just hell, and my heart really goes out to you guys. That's the truth. For me, it's been a good experience. Like, I have had to lock down and just stay in, but it's helped me realize my dream, which is having all this production in my head and never having an ability to produce it because of lack of funds and perfectionism and everything else. And I'm like, I found this platform where I can start producing these things, shows. I believe that interactive entertainment is the future of the entertainment industry. And I want to take that to the next level. And I'm thinking of many different ways to do that. And the show is growing. And support-wise, monetarily, people have been... I'm like dumbfounded, but it's making me work harder. It's making me work harder and harder and harder.
It's so
and it's
good.
also making me realize that not only do I stand out on that platform, like I don't even think I've touched the surface of what I'm about to do. Like that and I don't mean to sound like an egotistical prick. This is my plan. So for me, the whole experience, and another thing too, being able to sit down and entertain for a lot of whom are my friends now, and just chill with people every fucking night, banter philosophy, go crazy, and just eventually make this fucking robot chickenish, Monty Pythonish. I'm giving myself too much credit, but it's Oprah, whatever the fuck it is. But for me, this whole experience I've been struggling my whole life. I've been paycheck to paycheck my whole life. I've been month to month rent my whole life. I supported myself as an actor for a number of years. And then the work dried up. I thought I was a lot better an actor than I was, That's not why. I always did my job, and I think I did decently. But ego, man. What I'm saying is like, I thought, even though I was still going to go after it, my dream was gone. And then when I found Twitch, I realized it's still here. It's just changed now because I see the possibilities in interactive entertainment, especially with the way my brain works, because my brain works in sketch comedy. You know what I mean? So it's like, so anyway, for me, the experience has been amazing. And honestly, it's been because of Twitch.
Pfizer presents,
line, dude.
Pfizer proudly presents Twitch, a pill in stream form. Also from AstraZeneca, Discord. Keep in touch with your friends when off stream multiple times a day with ease of use.
Which is another reason why it is truly another reason why I do this. Like, I do want for me, but I enjoy helping people so much.
I can see it. It's really appealed to my brain a lot. But I mean,
I think other people see it too. But like here's the thing. Like that's my medicine too. Is like giving my life experience and helping people. But like, and which brings me to the fact of
the mental health,
right? And that I do see people coming in and they're like filthy this, filthy that, and I'm just in my head. I'm like, I'm so glad I'm so glad I have that power to do that. To help people.
You open the doors to a group therapy meeting that goes on and on, is always different, and is actually lots of fun.
Yeah. I don't think I still want the crux of it to be entertainment and so on and so forth, and the therapy aspect to be like kind of an accent, even though it's still prominent in the stream. But yeah, exactly. So let's talk about what is this doing to people? What is it doing to their mental health?
Well, first of all, that answer, and the problem gets really, really dark because we know what's going on in the world. We know there's a lot of psychos out there and sociopaths and narcissists.
What'd you call me?
And there's a lot of filthies out there. There's also filthies, and oh my God, the filthies. So, but think about it. There are people at home who are not safe because there is a mental illness that's untreated or not treated well enough, or an addiction or something going on within that
Domestic
home.
abuse.
And they're terrified every fucking day, and we're on lockdown. And this,
Fuck,
you know,
I can't even imagine.
being a, you know, a sensitive, empathic person, you can feel for the situation that this person is in. Being an empathetic person with what I have, sometimes I swear to God, if I'm in chat, I feel the feelings of everybody in there. It's almost like a certain amount of empath skill, I think, for me, came to it. I'd be interested to hear other people's experience on that with Tourette's. But my God, I mean, there's so much shit going on top of the situations that people have who are terrified. And, you know, what do? I mean, law enforcement's maxed out. Fire and rescue is maxed out. Hospitals are maxed out. It's not the time to be under duress. So I really, really feel for these people.
Yeah, man. So what can they do?
Well, I mean, there's age-old questions about like what a person can do when they're in the house with an abuser. We've seen so many movies and shows about it, heard so many people talk about it. I would say, first of all, if you are being kept in a situation where you are not even being allowed to reach out and build a support group, first of all, whatever you have to do, run hard, don't look back, and
get the fuck out of there.
shelter.
It'll always be, you know, look, exceptions to every rule, but I would think that it's going to be better 99% of the time. Yes, I'm
if
sure
that's happening to
I'm
you,
sure there's dangerous times where, you know, I think prominently they're too scared to do anything, man.
But if you're even being isolated from relationships with other people, you are at the next to the last choice in a choose your own adventure book. No, you're at the last choice. You have one choice to make at this point, or the story's over.
I get it,
but
you know, it's
but I don't want that to sound like completely dooming. I think that and maybe your stream can put out some information for you. We'll put it in your about section. I don't know. I'm sure that there are a lot of shelters who are trying very hard to take people in, a lot of call lines that are trying to field as many calls as possible. I know these resources exist, and I mean, hold on. If you're not in immediate danger, get a Twitch account. Start hopping into and just connecting with people. You'd be amazed. I'm amazed and very pleased.
Coming from a good place, but that sounded so fucking ridiculous.
Okay, but let me justify.
I know. Hey, no, I was thinking about this before, but it was like, look, if you ladies, if you are in serious danger, get a Twitch account now.
Yes. Well, I said if you're in no impending danger. This is for the people who are not in that situation. Sure. If it just sucks, but it's livable.
Yeah, I think that's what we're talking about for the most part.
Here's why I made that corny ass statement, because I'm in a lot of different communities. I'm in a different, like interactive theater community. I'm in the fire spinning community. I'm Burning Man community. I know a lot of people, and what I see, even in these wonderful communities, there's a lot of like, wow, okay, like I appreciate that you're sharing that with all of us, but like, we kind of got like all this going on, and I just see a lot of that. And maybe it's just because of the way Twitch is structured. You're stuck in the room with all these people. They can't see you. You can only see the streamer, but you can see what everybody's saying. And it kind of whittles it down to a construct that works for sharing and connectivity.
I totally agree.
I think the thing that keeps it from being poisoned are your shit mods.
Yeah.
It's the mods. I see how.
For those who don't know, I have a command in my stream that if you type in !shit mods, Mario drops a deuce.
Yeah.
On,
I mean, then they're not
on mods
shit.
text.
They're not really shit mods. They're awful, but they're not shit. No, but the mods, and you explained mods to me in the very beginning. I didn't really know what it's talking about. Then you made me a mod.
What the fuck was going on.
Then you made me a mod who doesn't know what he's doing. But now I see it, and now I see that is a key element to. And look, shit's still going to happen in this community. Look what happens to streamers sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Look what's happening now. I mean, shit's still going to happen. But I've set such a higher percentage of care and concern and actual empathy inside of Twitch streams than I see on the street.
And I think you're absolutely correct. And this is one of the things I talk about. You're right. When I first came to Twitch, I was like, dude, I'm going to be honest. about shit. And I bet there's not going to be many people on there. You know what I mean? There's just going to be people playing video games and they're not going to like share themselves.
So if you're streaming and it's getting popular.
And I got on and, you know, I started doing my thing, but to my surprise, I would hop into certain streams and these people were doing the same thing, like just sharing themselves. And I'm still in contact with a lot of these people, the ones that keep it real, because, you know, look, there's a lot of different reasons why you want to do Twitch or whatever. If you just want to entertain, that is fucking yes. Like that's
sure,
you know, arguably the ideal. You know what I mean?
There's a but there though. You want to know what the but is? The but is if you are streaming on any platform and you have any measurable kind of an audience and you don't take the opportunity to at least create, it doesn't have to be the theme of your stream, but create vocally and consistently create an environment where people can benefit and share and be embraced instead of shunned and judged. I think you're wasting a golden opportunity.
Yes, that for sure. Look, some
people
help
aren't, people and leave a legacy for yourself.
Sure, right, and they are, but dude, some people aren't capable of it, dude.
Well, I know.
You know what I
mean?
Like
you could at least share a couple numbers. You could
but this is what I'm saying. I think it's great that there are people on Twitch who do that, who do the opposite of what you're saying. Like me.
Yeah, it's not going to be everybody's bag.
Right. But what I'm saying is it's like, it's not, I believe it's true. It is not, if you are just a pure entertainer, it is not your fucking responsibility. If you want to, and like you said, you're probably wasting a golden opportunity because I'll tell you what. Hold on. Because like for me, it's a part of my business, but it's also a part of me. You understand what I'm saying? Like I've incorporated it into my stream because that's part of what I wanted to do anyway. I've always been good at giving advice, and it gives me a fucking kick when someone comes back to me and they're like, dude, guess what I did with my life based on what the advice that you gave me. That's a huge fucking kick for me.
That's the crack hit. So all I'm saying, if you have that gift and you're not incorporating it in some way, it doesn't mean your stream is bad in any way. I just think you're wasting a golden opportunity.
If you have that gift, you're not going to not do that.
Yeah.
If you have the gift, you're going to do it.
I'll say this too.
Because that's part of your gift is that you want to do it.
I've said this before and you wholeheartedly agreed. And you even said it on your stream. You mentioned our conversation where your stream tends to be really conducive to people who have been kicked a lot.
You brought that up and I was like, fuck, because I've always noticed that was a theme with me. People who have been to those parts usually tend to gather behind me.
You tip your hat to those people and you let them know you exist.
I am one of those people.
Very good. Of course.
That's the point.
I mean, but they don't know that until you find them or they find you. So if they find you and there's this chat that, wow, why does the chat look so different in here? I've been in here 5 minutes. This guy's cool. I just saw a really cool skit last time on Hidden Valley. And then it's just like, if you don't get that, I mean, somebody's going to see that if they're in need or they're looking, they might see somebody talking to another couple people in chat and getting all this.
That's all this support.
They're like,
there. Exactly.
I haven't even gotten hugged by another human being in fucking 12 months.
Exactly. I love that. I love that it's like, I love that someone can come in there and be like, what is this crazy shit? I don't want to have anything to do with it. Those are the repressed. They can fuck off. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm judging them too, probably a little bit unfairly too. Like everybody's got different moods and so on and so forth. But I'm like, if you're just gonna, flip someone on and someone does something crazy and you're gonna leave in like 2 seconds, I don't know if I want you around anyway. You know what I mean? Like you're probably the type of person that's gonna cause trouble anyway. So,
and I think you've built a slower but much stronger base that way.
It's
in the time
slower, dude. Like I was looking around, and I have far from made it in my conception, but definitely the last few months have been pretty amazing. But I fucking look around and I'm like, dude, I've got the same amount of viewers for the last year, and that's a good thing though too, because
you have more.
No, I'm saying like a year ago. I had been like sitting basically on the same amount of, people.
Oh, a year ago, and then this last year
For
has
a
just
year.
been Candyland.
It's been increasing a lot, but
You want some candy?
I
I have Chico sticks.
bought some Jelly Bellies today. I'm excited. I went to the market. Jesus Christ, man. People ugh.
Can we talk about your stream for a second? I mean, I know this is not about self-promotion, but Jesus Christ, the stuff you're doing. I mean, who the fuck else in the world is doing a toe puppet show?
Yeah, man.
And turning it into a topra, a sopra.
I want it to be very Adult Swimish and like I said, interactive entertainment. And the big thing that I'm producing, the cats are good for old people.
Oh God, I can't wait. Do you know what my favorite off-stream moment involving the Filthy Jester has been?
No.
Discussing I kid you not, discussing the fine points of creating a rock penis emitting a river of jizz for a toe puppet show while she's working on graphic design right next to you. And
I didn't think I'd be able to do
it. Dude, Beth is so acclimated to me. I can say her name. She doesn't care. And no one knows it. She's the chick. She's the mom from Rick and Morty. And anyways, she is so acclimated to me that she doesn't even hardly crack. Something like that. It's just, okay, that's you.
Yeah, I don't know if
That's
I'm going to be able
Tourette's.
to get the seventh one done by Sunday. I'm going to try to, but I got really backed up this week. I know everybody will understand, but there's also something to be said for a streamer getting out a weekly serial.
Well, especially if you have a lot of coals in the fire, and I know you do. Dude.
Oh God. Like that's dude, I can't but see, this is the awesome dichotomy for me is like, this is what I always wanted. I know what it's like to be depressed and like just lying in my bed and, smoking weed, playing video games and, just trying to deal with the torture in my head and so on and so forth. And I've always strived to do something with myself professionally. Like, this, man, I'm been in the entertainment industry. Like I've had thousands of auditions, you know what I mean? It's like, I know the fucking industry, but
sure.
I mean, dude, like it's just things are they're really a dream come true right now. And I'm happy I'm able to be in the moment, dude, because I'm still in desire and I still want more stuff. But again, like I said, like being able to be able to produce this nutty shit and like, think about it, dude, it's on a very scuff, very basic, very shitty level right now. I keep saying this.
If I get that so thematic, it works fine.
Right. Which is making the scuff work for you. Exactly.
Yes. But that, and we must always remember to masturbate frequently and vigorously.
Vigorously, sir.
This has been a public service announcement.
But yeah, man, like I have a lot of different things going on, but I think it's a cool thing at this point. Like, wow, he's actually got a weekly series he comes out with. Yeah. You know what I mean? No one's doing that shit. I mean, like they are on a professional level, like shows like Artificial Next, stuff like that. That's the beginnings of the future of Twitch. You should check that show out. It's contingent. The audience makes the choices, right? And that's the very beginnings. That's like the choose your own adventure style of where I think the industry is going to go initially, but I think it's going to go in a very different direction.
Choose your own anus.
Choose your own anus and other poems by Rod McEwen.
I like that very reticulated one with a nice tan shade to it.
So I was telling you about this movie called With Mill and I.
Yes.
And there's a scene, I don't want to spoil anything, but there is one scene where this dude is like in their house. They're all on drugs and shit. And this dude's in their house and he's talking about a new doll that he's making. He's like, well, they've already got a doll that pisses itself. So this one shits itself as well. That's his major pitch. It's a fucking brilliant film. Uncle Monty. Yeah. It's just absolutely brilliant.
It's queued up in my 20 tabs that open while you're talking to me at any given time.
Oh God,
Seriously,
you should.
hey, guys, anytime if you ever have a long conversation with Filthy one-on-one or even in a group and you have a computer in front of you, you're going to have so many tabs. You better have expanded your memory because you're going to want to look up things, and then you're going to want to look things up for him and with him and to him.
Yes, sir. But like I said, eventually, you know, putting all the money back into the show. Like I don't want this to be a stream. I want it to be a show with stream elements.
Dude, why do you think I have joy in gifting subs in your channel?
And I appreciate
dude,
it.
don't even trip, because I look at it, and you have started saying it, because I think that I might have had something to do with that. It is a fucking investment, because I know damn well you're not like going off and buying jet skis. You're
Not yet, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Give me a cup of mail.
I know you put as much back into this as you can, because
Give me
we've
some
seen
Joe Rogan. See what I buy.
Because we know it's never 100% with you. That would be an insult to 100%. So I know it's an investment, and it's an ever-changing show. I could go to the theater. I've watched you in the theater. You're fucking brilliant. And I would watch it again, and I would go night after night if I didn't
watched me in the theater,
stuff.
haven't you?
I have. And I would go and go and go. So here I get to go and go and go. I can do it sitting in my own fucking chair. I need to get a new chair. I need advice from the three people who end up listening to this. I really need to know, like, what kind of gamer chair you use.
I can actually give you a couple suggestions. Most people shun away from game chairs because it's more like a marketing ploy. But there are a couple game chairs out there which are apparently amazing. My buddy Chrono just bought one, and I
just need to be comfortable. I need to be comfortable.
Yeah, and as well you should, sir. Let them eat cake.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun. So why wouldn't I spend that in Twitch? Look, there's nothing wrong with getting on and just getting some great free family home entertainment. Right. Nothing wrong with that. But if you can contribute and you love what you're seeing, I believe when I see a street artist, whatever their gig is, and they're killing it, they're fucking slaying. If I have anything on me, I put.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because we have to support art in this world, because the world by and large isn't supporting art like they used to. You know, back in the good old Florentine days, where people would get their dicks chopped off for saying the wrong thing to the wrong person, you know, they also really patronized arts, and it was a central focus of their society and their world and their art and their dress, and everything was tied.
Interesting how that works. Yeah, there's. I believe that the two most powerful things in the world are love and art. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Love. Yeah, love and art. Yeah, love and art. I believe those are the two most powerful things in the world.
And the three types of art are pop art, folk art, and fine art.
Oh, sure. Those are it.
Designer.
That's it.
I learned it from a graphic designer.
You know what kind of art really fucking sucks? Modern art. Well, most art sucks. Most art sucks.
I like a lot of modern art. I love like the Geffen Museum.
No. I misspoke.
Speak.
A lot of modern art is amazing, and actually, if anything, it would be my preferred art. So I did misspeak. What I meant was, have you ever been to like Museum of Modern Art and seen like some of their exhibits? Like most modern art is just abysmal. It's so bad. I went to an exhibit and I didn't know this was happening because there was another exhibit next door, and this chick, the exhibit was just dicks. And like, that's fine, but it was like dicks on the walls, dicks on the chairs, dicks for cereal, dicks for the television. There was just dick. It was just dicks everywhere. Just dick.
Normalize the male phallus, people.
And I was just, look, it's not art to hold up a fucking 8x10 piece of paper, right? And make a dab of ink on it and be like, this is worth $1 million. Fuck you.
Yes. And I totally agree with you on that.
There is, and it's in the eye of the beholder and so on and so forth. But let's call a fucking pig a pig. That's a splash on a piece of paper that you made, asshole.
Right.
I can interpret it as much as I want. Now, mind you, there's other pieces of art that are worth that. Hands down. How about ones with effort? I just think
Yeah,
there's hacks in every motherfucking profession. You see it in music, you see it in fucking acting, all the fucking like it's just the predominance of people putting out art in general suck. And their fucking art sucks. That's just the law of the land. That's the way it's always fucking been.
Here's what I totally agree, because you said like get a piece of paper and put a dot on it. Like the painter, I think it's Kazimir Malevich, who just it's in the MoMA in New York, and it's literally a white square. Now I don't know if that's the same artist that like in the '60s did a gallery full of white squares. Now look, does it make you a genius? I don't.
Fuck them pretentious motherfuckers.
I don't.
And you know what? Fuck more so the people paying exorbitant amounts of money for a white square. They should be squandered of all their fucking fortune. Give it to the poor.
A Hegio. Now listen.
It's a white square.
If there's a reason that person's a genius, to me, it's because
if it comes with a tab of acid, sign me up.
I think that the only way that I think that person is a genius is for having the idea before anybody else and employing it. But if you're a genius, you're not a rare genius.
Silliness. There is dude. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. No, okay. I am arguing.
You're a genius to get it into the MoMA.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. There's a lot of Emperor's New Clothes out there. And I'm thinking like who knows? Maybe this person's like fucking Dali or like Picasso or something, and then has an evolution and psychologically is like, this is why I'm putting this up there. Okay, I can gel with that, but it's still a fucking white piece of paper, and it should not cost $2 million fucking dollars. That's my point.
Oh, it's very fucking pretentious. It's like not.
That's what I'm saying. It's pretentious to the point where it's the Emperor's New Clothes, and it bothers me.
It's Knox Harrington, the video artist. You're Lebowski.
That's the best.
You like that one? Thank you.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's a massive.
He knows up. You can't see past it. Oh my god. Love and hope to the dude, man.
I just don't. I don't look. Here's the thing. I don't like people taking advantage of other people's ignorance. And I don't like ignorant people putting their nose up at others.
It's just so ingrained now for people to do that. That's like
here's the so it's always been inherent in society. These kinds of things have been inherent in society, and now you've got people sharing it everywhere because of social media, right? So
and misinterpreting comes with that.
It's
the game of telephone. You don't have
person-to-person contact, dude.
It's telephone at camp, right? When you're in a circle of people and you whisper in each person's ear, it's like that, and it's going to get distorted until the message is completely different.
Well, the thing that's extremely worrisome is humans left to their own devices are extremely chaotic, right? So, and that's what's happening right now. Like everything is being regulated by us as people. And us as people are the type of people who jump on the whole fucking bandwagon when someone's getting rat packed. I don't, but most people do. You know what I'm saying? To get the attention off of them. So they'll hop on board and castigate someone else, no problem. The shit is rampant. The toxicity. I asked on my stream 2 nights ago, I said, hey, question for you guys. It's a yes or no question. You have to fucking answer. You have to answer yes or no if you're going to answer. Is the internet toxic or not toxic?
I was there.
Yeah. And, I think most of us came to the affirmation that it was like 70-30 toxic, right?
Yeah, I have an interesting question for you.
Yeah.
Filthy. Do you think AI, now let's forget the conversation we had the other night of its plausibility, assuming that it's here and it's AI, do you think AI would
self-realized? Does it know it exists?
That's hypothetical. Yes, it does.
I am way too scared then.
Okay, so let me just ask the question. Do you think AI would make the same mistake as us humans on that?
As us humans on what? AI would make plenty of mistakes. Everything makes mistakes.
No, but what
fucking Mother Nature makes mistakes. That's why we're here.
What you just said about the whole thing and the bandwagon hopping, do you think they would just be able to take an objective look at things?
I think
Maybe whip us into shape.
I think that alone the human psyche is so complex that if you took a computer that had more capacity for thought than we did, and gave it self-realization like Descartes, like I am, I could not even begin to fucking speculate.
So you're saying you're worried about the fact that we're the people designing this intelligence. That this might be a better.
First of all, we can't dissuade from the fact that I think this is not a plausibility in the near future at all.
Do you think the AI would make that same moral mistake?
So like, here's the thing. So does the computer, if the computer has a morality, if the computer develops emotional intelligence, then that's even more so you don't know what the fuck is going to happen. You know what I mean? One little kink could turn the robot into a sociopath, right?
That's true.
Like, here's the thing. There's an old I think there is, like, even though it's not a plausibility in the immediate future or even the close future, I think if self-realization happens for artificial intelligence, I think there's good cause for alarm. Because I honestly think it's almost like a coin flip. Like they could, and who knows if this isn't going to even be the debate anyway. What I do think is that humans contribute a lot to fucking up this planet. Like, I believe this planet is alive. I believe this planet is its own organism. Maybe it's not intelligent or whatever, but I believe, like, it has to be, right? Because everything on it is alive.
In some context, yes.
Okay, and maybe that's not scientifically and technically true. Fine.
Of course, but that's okay.
Okay, that's okay.
Clearly stated.
I believe the whole thing is fucking alive. It is. You know what I mean? It's like it might not be alive. Is the planet not symbiotic? Like, is it not? It's symbiotic within itself, correct?
Well, absolutely, yes.
Right. Okay. I mean, it needs the sun and it needs the sun and the moon and so on and so forth. In my opinion, the planet is fucking alive. And that being said, it's been around for 4.6 billion years, I believe, 4.8 billion years.
That's a prevailing thought.
And it's been through immense amount of changes and been occupied by many, many, many different species. We are the only, and I know this is an old thing, but whatever. We are the only species that is like fucked this planet up. And like on the macro, couldn't you like consider humans almost like a fucking spreading virus that the Earth is trying to counteract with I sound like a fucking flailing hippie right now, so I apologize. But because I do not like flailing hippies, fuck off. But you know, with the counterance of like climate change and stuff like that, like it feels like the Earth is getting fucking angry. You know, and I could be off base on that scientifically as well, though I do believe scientifically in climate change and that we are a contributing factor from the gases, the hothouse gases.
The dinosaurs are getting their revenge finally. That's what's happening.
Well, that's another
mighty Brontosaurus, do you have a lesson for us?
That's another interesting thing that I think about is I believe we developed conceptual thought from evolution's sake.
I just tell the millennials that's walking in your footsteps by the police off the Synchronicity album.
Okay. And yes, the police, very, very good, Miss Millennials. So the dinosaur roamed the Earth for like 465 million years or something like that. That's extraordinary. We've roamed the Earth for how long? Homo sapiens?
Not nearly that long.
70,000 years, something like that.
Hundreds of thousands.
Much shorter. Guess what? They're both blinks of an eye. Like, okay, maybe 465 million, maybe not that much of a blink of an eye, but when it's compared to 4.8 billion years, you know, well,
and when that's compared to the age of the
it's still a fat chunk of time. But point being said is The dinosaurs were around for that fucking long, and they did not develop conceptual intelligence. And people are like, well, you don't know that, like maybe their cities disappeared. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you, flat earther. Get the fuck away from me. No, they were not smart, obviously. Why did we become smart? What was it? Was it the Permian extinction that brought us out of the oceans? Some extinction brought us out of the ocean.
It's been years since I studied geology. Like 20
I forget
years.
which extinction it was, but one of the extinctions brought us out of the oceans. The thought is that we came from hot water fizzers.
Primordial soup.
Yeah, primordial soup. Oh, dude, I got this universe game, and we're gonna play it on stream tonight, and it's interactive, and I'm so excited, dude.
Sweet, that's not geeky at all, dude.
Dude, I'm fucking nerd, baby, and proud. I fucking fly those colors. This is a person with an old identity crisis who was just so desperate to come off as cool. Dude, you're a nerd like me, and you're cool like me too. We're just onions, dude. We're just fucking onions. We're definitely eccentric, but we have big fucking huge hearts.
I have 10 podcasts worth of layers, dude.
I know, man. So the hot water fissures, and for those like who don't know, and I've studied a little bit of stuff, but I'm no like super smart person. So I might butcher these things. No, I think I'm smart, but I don't.
You're talking the difference between raw intelligence and education learned.
No, I'm not. I just know where I'm at.
I disagree, asshole.
I think I have a lot of emotional intelligence, and I think I'm extremely creative. But there's, who knows? I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to.
God damn it, filthy earth!
Listen. All right, listen. Start calling people SA. The first time you heard that, I don't know where it came from, but I was like, I like that.
You told someone SO the other night. Did you catch that?
I called her Essa.
No,
Essa.
And then somebody at one point, I know I heard the S's, but at one point I think you stumbled and it came out SO.
But so
digress.
the interesting thing about deep water fissures and all the way down there, it's closer to the core of the earth, and the core of the earth, of course, is molten. And there's a lot of levels in between that are molten as well. So these hot water fissures, I know you know this, but these hot water fissures are a source of energy for actual life, right? So it doesn't need the fucking sun. It doesn't need photosynthesis. This is very, very, very interesting stuff.
Well, you and Raph talked about it. There are bacteria that live in wholly acidic environments in the dark.
Well, he was also saying that, and I've got to check this. Actually. But he said there was sulfur-based life as opposed to carbon-based life on the planet. And I know there's extremophiles and stuff like that, but I just, in my ignorance, I assume they're all carbon-based.
Well, your tech stuff guy just pulled this up. He's not paying me. Sulfur-based bacteria exist today in places like hydrothermal vents and hot springs. And early Archean rocks have shown evidence for ancient sulfur-based metabolism as early as 3.5 billion years ago. But fossils of these sulfur-based life forms have been difficult to find and even more difficult to verify.
And you know what the crazy thing is about those sulfur-based life forms? They smell like farts.
No, seriously. Let me ask you a serious question about this.
This is going to be a joke. But go ahead.
Jesus Christ, judge me.
What? It's not judgment. I just call it like I see it. I hear the connotations in your voice. I hear the inflections. I hear the inflections in your voice. I hear the inflections in your voice. I said, this is absolutely what it's going to be. It's absolutely going to be a fucking joke. But I actually have to. There is something serious that I need to bring up.
Gig stomper. I'm stomping the gig.
So anyway, these deep water fissures would produce. Let me finish this. These deep water fissures would produce life, and the primordial soup, the floating RNA. What is it? Is it mRNA? I forget what it is. Anyway, all that nice little clay at the bottom, the puddles, stuff like that. That's different stuff. But anyway, so something happened to create this huge extinction where like 90+% of Earth's life died. And we came out of these fucking oceans looking like marsupials. And we're here now. By the way, The missing link is that's a fallacy. There's no such thing as the missing link. Go ahead.
What? Me?
What?
No, I was just going to ask you a serious question. I was just going to ask you, have you been inside your deep water fisher lately?
Yes.
Thank
So
you.
what did I say? Clean
I'm going
you.
to use that confirmation bias you have there for me right now, and I'm going to work it against you at some point.
Yes. Okay, so
Confirmation bias. Wow, there's a topic.
Let's see what else we got. So yeah, you're new to Twitch.
Yeah.
You're new to Twitch, but you've been seeing some pretty cool stuff going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I think that's what I think, it's where it's gonna turn is actual quality programs with a lot of money behind it. I think it's gonna start turning into that shit. So
do you think that's a double-edged sword? It could go really, really well. It could go really, really bad.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Like, it's just like anything else, dude. When humans get a hold of something, they fuck it up out of greed. Like, that's it.
Well, like AI. Who believes the same exact thing as you do about the terrifying implications of AI? Elon Musk. Funny name, baby.
No. He
does. He's vocally on Rogan,
I know, but he's also someone like I've done the calculations and we're in a simulation. And I'm like, stop it. Stop it.
Well,
So
in an aspect,
I respect Elon. Hold on. I respect Elon Musk. I think I like what he's doing, and he does seem on the philanthropic tip of things, which I heavily respect and I love. But he's a bit of he's smarter than me, but he's a bit of a dumbass.
Right. But there's something in what he said that I don't think you're thinking of right here. And we talked about it the other day about social media and Jaron Lanier. Remember, we are the product of social media. We kind of have been put into a simulation. Remember Jaron Lanier, that 60-year-old long ginger dreaded hippie guy who co-founded VR said,
bro, we are talking about an actual physical simulation that another source outside of us has put together that we're living in right now. Show me the proof.
Okay, I'm not talking that. I'm talking about
that's what he's talking.
I'm speaking more metaphorically, but I think metaphorically that there is a point, even if he wasn't really making it. Jaron, remember when you loved this quote too, it's the gradual, slight, imperceptible change in your own behavior and perception that is the product. That's the only thing there is for them to make money from. So that's all of social media, and that's the internet, and that's corporate media, and the way they lie by not telling.
It's the way it is now, right?
It's the way they lie by not telling certain truths. That's manipulation. And 1,000%. That gives us our little changes, and we have become part of a simulation in a different form from what Musk was talking about.
But it's not. And I'll tell you why, because a simulation, a simulation is there to learn. And
give it another name. Give it another name. Experiment.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. It's look, it seems look, if that movie is like right on point, The Social Dilemma, it's a calculated fucking underhanded way to get money. It's just what it is.
And we are an experiment, and the purpose of the experiment is going to be measured by the effectiveness of the experiment is going to be measured in terms of power and money.
Yeah. But like
so far, the experiment's gone really, really well for the people judging it.
Yeah, I just think that they don't even like. Again, this is it's such a fucking it's its own behemoth. It's its own thing, and who knows? Like what I think is like, again, this is the danger about AI and stuff like that. Like, what if we create something that we cannot end up controlling? What if that thing is social media? Because it's like, it obviously taps in to our, what makes us tick as people. You know what I mean? And a lot of these things aren't good things because a lot of them are totally controlled by ego. All the sensationalism, all the fucking, all the bullshit, all the crap out there
It's not even fair right now to ask if social media is that a great invention of humans that's going to get out of control, because they're not even trying to help out with that right now. So we're not even putting in what we can and should, like regulating the ancient internet laws that now govern social media that didn't exist when they were created, like Section 230 and the Senate, the congressional hearings. Jack Dorsey and Mark Zuckerberg, trial by fire. By some, but rein that in and make them responsible for the content and the mental manipulation they're pulling on people, and then maybe we can ask that question.
But you would have to prove. You would have to prove that, right? You would have to prove that what they were saying in the social dilemma.
The data they were presenting in that. Well, they were presenting some of that data in those hearings, and yes, it jives.
Well, what does the data say? I mean, what,
dude? It was 5 hours. It was
no. But
like
what I'm saying is like you should be able to fucking take out a whole fucking company that was like, honestly, man. I mean, you couldn't do it with cigarettes, I guess. Like cigarettes, you know what they are? You know what Facebook and social media is? It's the new cigarettes.
Basically,
that's exactly what the fuck it is.
You can't take them down, and here's why.
It's the new fucking cigarettes, dude.
But if I'm anticipating your point, it has to do with can we or can we not really even take them down? You can't, because there are too many heavy hands in it. There are too many companies and corporations around the world who benefit from its existence on a minutely basis.
Right, which leads me to hope for the future.
Twitch.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's definitely
similar.
Sure, but
it's a much better social network. Much more healthy.
But that's no.
Oh, and what I see on social media, like Facebook,
but fucking Twitch needs to also get their shit together and stop allowing fucking 11-year-old kids to start dropping the N-bomb everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that they need to do that they can do that they won't.
Yeah, it's part of it. That's another good example.
Right, but basically, I was thinking about the cigarette thing. We should be. That's what it was. As I've talked to you before, it's like I think I might have brought this up on the first podcast too. But like, you know, generationally, the teens and young 20s and stuff will rebel against, you know, a lot of things that are happening. Some things in the zeitgeist, maybe if there's a war or whatever. Every fucking generation, right? They always have.
Except for our parents, according to them.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, there were still like the rebels in the 40s and stuff like that. I'd say it started becoming prominent in the 50s. This is just my interpretation.
They were rife with opportunity when my parents and your parents.
Right. And this is just my take on things. In the 50s, it started like rebel without a cause, that kind of thing. In the 60s, it was prominent because of Vietnam, right? And then it just started getting more and more. And you see, like, what I see is a lot of these kids out there who just want to rebel against something. And those are like those ACAB motherfuckers who are like, all cops are bad. And like this and that. It's like, oh, there's not one cop out there that's good. So, okay, someone's about to rape your mom, break in your place and rape your mom, and you're not going to call the fucking police, right?
The math of ACAB doesn't work anymore after the insurgents. It doesn't work. The math on both sides of the argument of ACAB doesn't work.
Yeah, but I don't want to get it. I think they're misguided. I think they're misguided assholes being led by crazy assholes. That's what I think. Okay. So fuck those people. But you know, like, don't get me wrong. There's dirty cops out there, and they can go to hell too. But I mean, it's like it's not all cops. Stop it. Defunding the police will not work. And the fucking politicians that cringe to that. We need more money for education on police. It's a fucking extremely tough fucking job. They're human beings. Some of them are pricks and dickbags, but also some of them are going in there to do the right thing and protect other people. Wouldn't you want to protect someone that wants to do that for you? Yeah. I personally would.
Well, why not help them out with their job and pour billions of dollars into mental health, which is a travesty in this.
That's what I'm saying. That's why all of it's all. Look, here's the fucking problem. Here's one of the big fucking problems: is that social media is dominated by youthful people who haven't developed enough empathy yet to understand the world around them correctly. Some of them do. Most of them don't have a fucking clue. I still don't have a fucking clue. So they don't. But what I'm saying is when the predominance of the youth, you know, it's in control of social media. So then adults go on social media and subconsciously get influenced by people with less empathy. And these fucking assholes jump on the bandwagon too.
And the internet.
What I'm saying is basically this. What I'm hoping for, as far as kids rebelling during the times and so on and so forth, there is a lot of poison on social media, and I think it's too much. And I think it would be balanced better with less of it. It's always going to be there, and that's fine. There's always got to be a balance about things of some sort, but like you can't fucking eradicate it. But it shouldn't be 70-30 toxic. It should be 70-30 positive.
Anybody
so what I'm
30,
saying is this.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is this, is that my hope is in this generation of the people being born right now, maybe even a little bit later, become teenagers or 20-somethings, and they realize the toxicity of social media. They're the predominance right now. What if they're the predominance then as well, except they're like, wow, this shit is evil. Because they're going to rebel no matter what. So I'm hoping it's against the actual evil shit. Pardon me. Like 30, a lot of kids are doing this generation, like the Greta Thunbergs and stuff like that. You know?
So people about 35 or under, their brains are constantly under a giant magnifying glass in the sun. I mean, they're just getting hammered and inundated. Like we did not have that experience growing up. It was much slower because the flow of information was controlled by its technological limitations at the time.
Right.
So, empathy is being bred out, and I don't, not necessarily by parents, but parents are busier than they used to be because nobody has money anymore, and people's empathy is being shattered by this onslaught of binary thinking and confirmation bias,
and impunity on the internet. What does that do to a human psychology?
It's a gladiator in the Coliseum with thumbs up, thumbs down, and every issue has to be thumbs up, thumbs down. There's no nuances, no discussion. We don't have time for discussion. And fuck discussion. This is the truth. No, this is the truth. Well, this person sponsored by Shell Oil says this. Well, this person that's sponsored by Pepsi says that's what's going on, people. And my heart goes out to millennials and younger. And you know what? If anybody's going to save this,
I mean, you know me, dude. I want the best for these people.
It's going to be them that save the world if anybody does.
Yeah, I agree.
Or their kids, or their grandkids.
You know, just on the stream, there's dig bags in every generation, and so on and so forth. But what I'm saying, and I don't want like, you know, younger kids misconstruing what I say out there. I fucking respect you guys, dude. I was a big rebel when I was your age, dude. So it's like I get it, but I'm also, but you know, they also have to realize that like for me, you know, I think I've always been a good person, but the empathy really, really started growing the more I went through experiences in life. And,
of course,
you know, it's allowed me to love others more, which
and
is
you're going to go through
shit in the future, awesome.
Dude, you're going to go through more shit in the future that's going to make you fucking bulletproof. Trust.
Yeah, as for the young kids?
No, you in your life are going to go through stuff that's going to make you absolutely bulletproof if you think you're strong now. It's going to almost kill you.
I don't want to. I like it right now. Like I'm still challenged, and but I'm not. I've found a little bit of peace, and you know what? I'll probably be able to keep that.
After you will contain, and you will be fine, but part of you will turn to granite, for better or for worse.
Are you speaking just particularly of my situation, or just generally?
I'm speaking out of, you know, somebody who's like lost like pretty much everybody that was my family. Like everybody.
Well, dude, bringing that up, parents, I am petrified of that, man. You know, I'm an emotional person.
I know.
You know, I'm an emotional person, and I dread that
day.
I still have all my family.
Your heart will come out of it in the sheet.
Bro, I'm so
leather.
Like I'm so armor. Scared of that, dude.
But I'll be here, and I went through it. But you'll have leather armor around your back.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Of course,
but you know, I'm thinking selfishly as well.
Look at what. Listen, listen, and your chat, I know would agree. Look at who and what you are now and how much strength you bring to people. You can receive just as much.
They bring it to themselves. I can only be the conduit for information. They bring the strength to themselves.
Of course, but you inspire.
That's pretty cool.
In your own filthy way, you inspire.
I was,
Yeah.
you know, here. You want to hear something I never told anyone, man?
Oh yeah. Hold on, let me whip it out.
So, years ago, decades ago, my mom would always tell me, "Filthy," not in those words. Filthy, you're a natural born leader. And those words always resonated with me because I never believed it.
How do they know?
I never believed it, right?
How do they know when you're a little
And
kid?
as I've moved through my life, I've seen intimations that lead me to believe maybe I would be a good leader. And I see what I'm doing on Twitch, and I think I would fit that mold perfectly as for what I do on Twitch. And it makes me happy, you know, because that's one thing that, like, yeah, that's cool. I would like to be that. But you got to learn how to follow first. I know that firsthand.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I mean, you got it.
Well, I think maybe we should wrap it. I'm gonna get some stuff from the fourth stream. But this was awesome.
You gotta look for the 11th porno.
This was awesome. We're gonna play the universe sim on tonight too,
Stream joke.
which
What's
is
that?
gonna be fucking rad. The universe sim. You're gonna like it. You get to like marry, and all the chat will be getting together and getting married and having kids and stuff. It's funny.
I'm guessing that I don't have the interface to play, or is it just
No,
all
no,
like
it'll
chat?
be right through the chat, dude.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I love you, man. Thank you for an awesome second show, bro. I really appreciate it. And I would
Dude.
love to have you on again.
I love you too, and I'd be delighted. Absolutely delighted. Thank you so much.
Dude, thank you. Twitch.tv/TheFilthyJester. I produce my own show on Twitch with a lot of different Adult Swim-esque type of things, and I'm trying to work very hard on making a complete show with that. I play games from time to time too. Well, for now I play games too, but the predominance is come by the fucking show, dude. Like you'll see. It's not like anything else on Twitch, that's for sure. Again, Mr. TourettesOneCup. He's my mod in the stream and one of my good friends.
The
Thank you
worst
again,
mod.
man. No,
Thank
you're the
you.
best.
Love you.
All right,
brother.
I appreciate you, brother. We'll talk soon. Good night. Good night.
Night.